Hey, welcome to the Gov Shack. So happy to have you guys with me this evening. And it's been a bit. I have been away running around upstate New York for a bit, about 3 or 4 days, meeting lots of people. For those of you who were paying attention to my social media, you probably saw it. I had a great time meeting lots of people. Some of you came out there to see me too, which is great. But I wanted to get back to, what I keep hearing. I have heard so many people talking about Mamdani, what he's going to do, and what I've been talking about. This is now the part 4 that I've been talking about, Mamdani's policies. And look, to be forward, as I've said many times, Mamdani is talking about a lot of real issues. True. The question is are his plans the ones that we need to solve these issues? Now, you might go, Larry, no, because they're bad, because blah, blah, blah. Well, you may be right. I'm not fighting you on that. But the Democrats have been in charge for how many years? Republicans have been fighting them for how many years? And where is the Democratic policies to fix it? Non-existent. Where are the Republican ideas to fix it? Non-existent. So when the only guy is Mamdani and he goes, hey, I got this plan to fix stuff, and we wonder, why are people saying yes? Because he's the only guy saying he's going to fix stuff. So if I'm going to sit here and point my finger at Mamdani and go, your plans aren't good, if I'm going to do that, I better have some plans myself. I better be able to then say, okay, his plan's not good, but I have a better one. And what have I been doing? Exactly that. For those who are paying attention, this is my 4th one. I've gone right down his website with his policies, using his words, expressed what he's doing. I am explaining how they will not work or don't need to work, and how I have policies that actually will work or will solve this problem in some way, shape, and form if required. Now, I've covered a bunch of different things. I'm now heading over to the next piece. I'm actually heading over to, if I remember right, I'm talking about, LGBTQ, healthcare, and business, if that's not mistaken. I'm trying to cover all the things he's been talking about. Again, I'll be using his ideas, his policies, all those things to make that happen, and taking your comments as always. And as I always ask you to do, guys, if you know it's going to be good, and you know it's going to be good, you know that I have had to shift from my Sharpe way stuff on one side, Larry Sharpe stuff on another side, because this is for the campaign. So if you guys want to help me out, click that like button. It does matter. It's important. Click the like button. Repost this someplace, share this into a YouTube channel or something like that. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel or page you're watching, please subscribe now. It helps tremendously in getting the name out, getting stuff out. Please do so if you can. I really appreciate it. And super chats, we can't super chat here. It's YouTube, so can't do that for the campaign. If you want to super chat, head over to LarrySharpe.com/super chat, and you can super chat me if you want to there. So we can do that. If you still want to super chat, you can still get one, but it's that way, not through the normal YouTube stuff. We can't do that. Again, YouTube and its rules and such. So anyway, I don't make those rules. YouTube does. I just have to be punished by them. So I am. Let me look for a couple comments before I keep going. I'll grab a couple comments if I can. Yamir says, Larry Sharpe for governor of New York? Yes. Lenara64, Larry for governor? Yes. So, Say No 1984 is here. Cage, Larry Sharpe for New York? Yes. Absolutely. And she missed us all. I love that. Very nice. Shelly says, glad Larry's late because it makes me on time. Thanks, Larry, because I care about you. Yes, absolutely. Andrea says, I was having loud withdrawals. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad. Yes, here we are. So, all righty. Okay. Let's see here. Shelly says, we should ask Trump to ask his New York friends to learn to Larry. Yes, Shelly, that's true. You should do that. Yes, absolutely. All righty. And I think I covered all those. That's good. Luna says, Larry, a super chat's okay on your radio show. Yes, if you're on my radio show and you know super chat, you may. Up to you. I appreciate it if you can. I can't mention the super chats. I will make sure that I mention your whatever you ask. If I get it in time, I will bring it up if I can. The problem for the radio show, for those guys who know, that is a terrestrial radio station. That's not me. That is terrestrial. So I just do it live there. I can't drop F-bombs. It's regular radio, and it just goes live. And I'm just casting it also online. That's why often when you hear that show, you can hear my engineer in the background speaking, because it's just you're getting it live. Getting it live. Yes, you are. So yes, if you can. I don't mention the super chats because I'm on the radio, but I'm sorry. I don't mention that it is super chat. I mention that it is a comment. So yes. I hope that makes sense. All righty. Let me, if I could, do the deed that I wanted to do. As you know, I have been spending my time and energy trying to get this done because it does matter. Again, my fourth one, insane but true, so long. By the way, I did this with Bernie about 6 or 8 years ago. I forgot how long ago. I went through Bernie Sanders when he was running for president. I went through all of his stuff and went down each of those. So, yes. All righty. First piece I want to bring up, LGBTQIA plus protections. And I said, wait a minute, Larry. This is an important piece throughout the country. This is a thing that's been happening. We have to worry about this. And wait a minute. So, Larry, you have very often been very supportive of the LGBTQIA plus community. Yes and no. I can't stand this type of alphabet stuff. It seems silly to me. It should be, as I call it, the GSM community. GSM is gender and sexual minorities communities. Much easier. This plus 2A stuff is insanely stupid. And if it makes you upset, I'm sorry. It's just stupid. This concept is dumb. You put every single thing in there, just say GSM. You are either a gender and or sexual minority. Okay. That is an important group of people we should be concerned about, like any other minority. I don't have a problem with that at all. So I know some of you don't like the GSM people. I don't care. I do. I have lots of friends who are, and I will always support them whenever I can, of course. But this type of stuff is insanely dumb. Let me tell you why it's dumb. Because it's New York City. There are absolutely some issues that people have outside of New York City if you're a part of the GSM community. 100% an issue. In New York City, relative to every other place in the country, zero. Relative to, again, outside of New York City, relative, nothing. He's not running for governor of the world or galactic emperor. He's running for mayor of New York City. To think that we have an actual problem in New York City is insane. It's not true. This is not an issue. Do we have some problems sometimes? Yeah, does. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes we do. But here's the issue. While sometimes we do have some issues when it comes to the GSM community in New York City, it does happen. There are so many, and I mean so many protections already in place. The GSM community is protected in the New York State Constitution and multiple laws. This is just pandering. This is a solution without a problem. There's no problem here. I'm not trying to be dismissive. You know I'm not. This is just virtue signaling, nothing else. It's an embarrassment. And here it is. He has an entire thing on it, just to be clear. Queer and trans people across the United States are facing an increasingly hostile political environment. True across the country, yeah, not New York City. New York City must be a refuge for LGBTQI. See how stupid that is? You could just say LGBT. Everyone understands it. Adding all the other stuff is just stupid virtue signaling. But Larry, I'm the Q or I'm the A. So what? You'll be fine. You don't got it. You don't have well, good. I'm tall. I want another T because I'm tall, or whatever. I'm brown. I want another B because I'm brown. Stop it. We know what it is. And when it comes to New York City, you're good. Even if you are discriminated against or attacked in some way, our laws are already here to protect you like there's no tomorrow. It's already here. All right. Let's see here. Of course, it's because Trump. But private institutions in our own city have already started capitulating to Trump's assault on trans rights. Not true. That is made up. Meanwhile, the cost of living crisis confronting working class people across the city hits the LGBTQ blah, 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 community particularly hard, with higher rates of unemployment and homelessness than the rest of the city. Yes, that's true. And there's lots of issues behind that, and they have nothing to do with the fact that they're that. There's other issues behind that, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Yes, that's true. The Mamdani administration will protect this New Yorkers by expanding protections, by expanding and protecting gender-affirming care citywide. Now, that's the key piece. What he really means is, and what he should say, and just be honest, he's saying he wants to support gender-affirming care more. Okay, then say that. Then say that. He's not. He's acting like people are beating up trans people every day in New York City. Now, you might go, Larry, it does happen. It does. It does. Out of a city of 8.5 million, around 10 per year. And we don't know if it's because they're trans or not. Maybe. There are bigots. They exist. 10 out of 8.5 million. And he is going to start an office of LGBTQIA plus affairs. Stop it. Stop it. You wonder why people are mad at you. Lots of New York City people are struggling. This is not where your policy, there's a separate policy for this. And it's not required. And again, not because I don't support the community. Clearly, people know me. I do. It's already protected. And I'll prove it to you in his own thing. This is him right now. His policy memo. Here it is. Queer and trans people. Just say queer and trans people. Say that. Across are facing increasingly hostile political environment. Okay. New York City must be a refuge. It already is. Same thing. All garbage. Same thing we just said. Okay. A private institution with a $250 million public subsidy should not have the ability to sell out young trans New Yorkers to the Trump administration. That's what's happened when NYU Langone decided to stop providing gender-affirming care for trans youth. Okay. So one hospital decided they didn't want to do health care for trans youth. And he says necessary life-saving. That's made up. We don't know if that's true. And for some people, it's true. And for some people, it's not true. But this is virtual signaling language. That's all it is. This is one massive, this is like 7 pages. This is 6 pages long. This is 6 pages of virtue signaling. And for no reason. It's terrible because look at it. Do you think the trans community in New York is going to vote for a Republican? Does anyone think that? It's useless. It's just virtue signaling. He has some people in his campaign who decided to make this virtue signaling. That's all it is. Yes. Here it goes. These decisions, he writes this, are in direct contradiction with New York State law, which means there's already a law against it, which is what I just said. This is just virtue signaling. There's already a law against it. So he's going to follow in the footsteps of the one and only Queen Kathy, first of her name, and he's going to make something that's illegaler, because that always works. And of course, when he does it, he will add tons of money. As you can see down here, he goes on to it by saying the Mamdani administration will protect gender-affirming care immediately by investing $65 million. Why? Let me repeat that. One hospital said no. They're going to get sued because it's against New York State law. That's going to happen. And you might say, well, Larry, why should they? I'm not saying they should, but it's the law and they're going to change. New York State has solidified this in our, not even in law, in our Constitution just last year. This is a solution with no problem. So they're going to lose. So because one hospital said, I don't know if this is actually life-saving or not, which we don't know, depending on the person, whether it is life-saving or not. We still aren't sure depending on the person. Some people it is, some people it's not, but he just did a blanket statement. And so maybe the hospital said, this may not be a good idea. Well, good, you'll be sued and you'll lose. It's in our Constitution. You're gonna lose. That's how that works. So here, we will seek and hold private entities abetting Trump's attacks to account. Yes. Yes. Then they're going to budget $65 million to explicitly support and expand access to gender-affirming care. So New York City is going to say, I'm going to add an extra, because we already pay, an extra $65 million for gender-affirming care. Because one hospital said, I don't think so. Wow. Just virtue signaling. That's all it is. And it's all about, in the face of the Trump administration, this is just anti-Trump. This is orange man bad. Give me money. Orange man bad. Here, develop and support virtual and telehealth GAC and delivery of GAC treatment by community health providers. Telehealth's good for everybody. Good for everybody. This is what it's all about. Then he says, make New York City an LGBTQIA. Do you see how stupid it is every time I say it? Plus sanctuary city. Okay, first off, The whole state already is. The whole state already is. So you can like it or not like it. The entire state already is. Again, I can't say this enough. It's in the New York State Constitution. And there's separate laws, which he'll cover right here. Here's the covers. Okay. Recent actions like the 2023 New York Safe Haven for Transgender Youth and Families Act, the 2019 New York Reproductive Health Act. It's already there. He's literally announcing why we're already the thing that he wants to make us. So we are going to make whatever is illegal, illegaler. It's already there. Here, the New York State Protections Against Criminalization of Gender-Affirming Care. It's already there. We already have a task force on issues faced by TGNCNBI people in custody. I don't even know what that one is. That one, I don't know what that is. But the alphabet people. Do you understand how stupid this is? This is just virtue signaling for a problem that doesn't exist. Lara, you hate GSM people. Shut up. You know I don't. You know I don't. Stop it. You know I don't. What you also know is this shit is stupid. Useless, virtue signaling, orange man bad stuff. This is to help raise money. See, without him, there was... Do you think Cuomo would have ended this? No. Do you think Kathy Hochul was going to end this? No. Do you even think if some way Curtis Sliwa had won, he would have ended this? No, he can't. It's literally in our Constitution. No one can end this without changing the New York State Constitution. It's already here, and he announces it. I want to be clear. This is his website announcing all the acts that we already have in play from as early as 2019. And it keeps talking about how it's been bad under Trump. Do you know when we had the highest amount of violence against the GSM community? Under Biden. I'm not joking. That's true. We had 24 in a city of 8.5 million. We had 24. Less than 2% of hate crimes in New York City are somehow against transgendered people in some way. Less than 2%. So let's make it a sanctuary city. Let's make more laws. We're good. Look, I'm not saying transgender people don't get harassed here or there in the city. They do. Of course. You will always find bigots everywhere. Of course you will. But relative to what's happening in my city, this is nothing. Relative, nothing. Relative to other cities, nothing. I mean, maybe San Francisco is better than New York. Maybe. I don't even know. Maybe. I'm not even sure that's true. I'm guessing. Maybe Asheville, North Carolina. Maybe. I'm guessing. Maybe. But I doubt it. I doubt it. This is all just with here. Sanctuary city legislation nationwide. So now we're talking nationwide. Why? And I was going to create, of course, all right. He's going to create the New York City Office of LGBTQIA plus affairs because that'll work and make stuff or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And it'll make more funding for the Unity Project. Yet another project for this. Guys, I shouldn't have to go 3-4 pages down for a problem that doesn't exist. Yes. So now, more. Oh, now that office, that was 65 million we heard before. That was just for gender affirming care. Now, how are we going to deal with the LGBTQIA plus office? Well, that's 87 million more dollars. New Yorkers can't pay their rent. So we're going to give $87 million, which of course, that's the beginning. Which means that $87 million will become $150 million within 2 years. And that will be ongoing because we need $30 million for housing programs just for the LGBTQIA plus people, the alphabet people, plus 20 for mental health services, another 10 million for serving transgender, 10 million for administrative and coordination costs. What's that one? Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Stop the madness is right. All sounds like money laundering because it is. Because it is. Yes. All righty. 4.7 for new healthcare. Didn't we just say we're giving a bunch more? Didn't we just say that? 5 million for new education. Who we're going to educate? And then the public defense. Okay, we're not done. Okay, because see, we got to give housing. We got to give work. Look how long this is. Workforce development, education, healthcare, mental health, criminal legal system. We got to give them more public defense. How come? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not. Why do they get special legal defense? How about like the poor guy or gal? How about like the family that has a mom who's an addict? How about the one who has a dad who has a mental, problem or issue? How about those people? Do they get special stuff too? I guess maybe. We could just make things better for everybody. This was literally 6 pages of pandering. 6 pages of dropping $150 million for a problem that doesn't exist. He did that. Again, I wish. I was joking. This is him talking. Care and opportunity protection. Right? This is literally just pandering. This is one of his critical things, and it's useless. It is making illegal things illegaler. Let me grab some comments if I could. All right. Okay. All righty. Let's see here. Phil says, I was cyberbullying Elise and Kathy. Please don't stop. Yes. Okay. That's great. Please don't stop that. Yeah. Missy says, you can super chat Larry through his website at his link, LarrySharpe.com/superchat. True. That's accurate. Yes. Rick says, the Q in LGBTQ is for communist. I like that. That's super cute. My point is, why do you keep adding things? Stop. And you have a plus, which means everything else. If you're going to have a plus, just do L plus. Done. L plus, right? Plus is all the other stuff. So lesbians plus, we're good. L plus would do it. But it's LGBTQIA plus. Wow, is that stupid? And if you think it's not stupid, something's wrong with you. That's stupid. Either do L plus, LGBT, everyone knows what that means, right? The IA plus is in the LGBT, or just do GSM. All good. It's totally fine. This just makes people want to ridicule you for no reason. It's silly. So he says, no extra rights for certain groups, equal rights for all. Yes. And this is an issue. In New York City, and again, he is running for mayor of New York City. If you tell me Oklahoma, we could have a conversation. Absolutely. I'm talking New York City. Trans people, gay people, lesbians, bisexuals, whatever the QIA plus stuff is, they're fine. It's not an issue in my city. It's not. It's not an issue in my city. And if you think it is, you are fooling yourself. My city council person is queer, openly queer, and nobody cares. I actually like her. Her name is Tiffany Caban. She's nice. I like her. Met her in the street before. Nobody cares. I meet people on the street who are trans, people on the street who are gay all the time. Nobody cares. About 3 years ago, we went to, 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, went to a Thanksgiving outing with a gay couple that my family and I know. We all took our kids over there. Nobody cares. It's New York City. Nobody cares. The rights are here already. No one's asking if you're gay or cares if you're gay when you're getting a job. Nobody gives a shit. How do I know that? All right. 2018, I think it was called Country and State or City. No, State and County. What the hell's the name of that place? I forgot. What. Anyway, whatever it was. That group checked out all of the campaigns and whether they were diverse or not, because they wanted to attack people because they weren't diverse enough. And of the 5 people running at that time, I had the most diverse campaign. By their standards, not by mine, by their standards. Yes. I had trans people on my team then. I had trans people on my team in 2022. Gay people on my team then. Gay people in 2022. Did not care, never did care, still don't care. Anyway, you're correct. I'm with you. All righty. Stop the Madness says this is something that's not an issue at all. True, it's not. Not in New York City. It's just not. It is not at all. He goes on to say, the leftists are really good at finding problems, but all their solutions are absolute trash. Also accurate. This is worse. There's no problem here. This is worse. Most of the stuff, this is why I stress on this one. Why am I stressing? Because most of the things Mamdani talks about are actual problems. Most of them are. This one's not. This is the one where it's just stuff. That's just stuff. Shelly says, I can't get an appointment with my endocrinologist because they're swamped with gender affirming care. Wow. They're more important than you, Shelly. They're more important than you. Andrea says, discrimination and assault is illegal. True. That's my point. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. We have so many hate crimes here in New York State. Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. Rick says, seriously, queer has nothing to do with sexual orientation. It is people making themselves non-human, and it's a statement of support of tearing down Western civilization. You know, it's an interesting way of looking at that. Interesting way of looking at that. And I think you do find some people who will assign themselves one of the alphabet as a way to say to hell with the system, to hell with the civilization, to hell with the establishment. I think that's true. You do find some of those. I'm not sure what percentage that is, but I think you find it. I agree. I found particularly youngsters who are like, I'm just non-binary when that's not a thing. They're absolutely, but they just don't have a girlfriend or boyfriend. So they're like, I don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend yet, or I'm confused, so I'm non-binary or whatever. That happens a lot. Or I'm queer or something. Yeah. Also, there's a thing now where you find men here in the city who will call themselves queer just so they can hang out with the lefty chicks and try to bed them. I'm not joking. That's an actual thing here. That's an actual thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm queer. You are? Really? Yeah, I am. Oh, you must be a lefty guy. I am. Can we have sex? Well, we can. Great. I'm not queer anymore. Done. You've unqueered me. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, that's a thing too. So there is a bunch of that. So who knows which ones there are? Obviously, people take advantage of this. So, any case, Andrea says, why should doctors be forced to perform these surgeries? Cause New York. Andrea, you're in Illinois. You know this. Cause New York. That's it. Rick says it's the abolish the family people. This is another piece that I hear often. And I think you find people who just don't like the establishment. There is some of that. I think. So, yeah. All righty. I think I covered a bunch of those. Say No to 1984 says, yeah, discrimination and assault are already illegal. But commies always leave for redundancy. Why have one law when 10 laws and an advocacy office will cost so much more? True, and also make you a worse person for one act. See, so I decide I get mad and I punch some guy, and we find out later that guy is part of the alphabet people. And then not only did I get assault, but now it's a hate crime, and now it's a crime against humanity, and now so I get like 17 charges for one thing, not just assault. I shouldn't have punched a guy, no matter what. No matter what community he or she was part of, I should not have punched him. And I should be punished for punching some guy that I should not have punched. True. But now I got 25 charges. And now I have to pay a lot of money to defend myself, but they will go to the Office of Advocacy of the Alphabet people, and those will be free. So I'm completely screwed. True. Shelley says the emperor is wearing several layers of clothing. Lots of them. Correct. Lots of them. 100%. Missy says, do you like Larry's ideas? Of course you do. You can learn more about them on the policy section of his website at larrysharpe.com/policy. She's right. Let me do one more thing if I could. Guys, I always ask you to click the like button. I know I do. But something else. Remember, this is still a fundraiser. I'm showing you actual ways we can fix things. And this one didn't need fixed at all. Head over to larrysharpe.com/donate. Yes, I'm the only guy who's going to sit here and tell you that we do have to care about the GSM community, but not in New York State. Not in New York City. It's not a thing here. It's not a thing here. So you want to hear that? Great. larrysharpe.com/donate. Help me get into office so we can move this thing forward. It does matter. If you say, Larry, I would like to donate, but I also want something for it, head on over to larrysharpe.com/shop. Pick up a shirt, a hoodie, a bumper sticker, whatever you like. Pick up that while you're there. Get a gift for a donation. I appreciate it. If you've already done that already, no worries. You can always volunteer. I need more people to cyberbully Elise and Hochul. Please join SEAL Team Sharpe at LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. It does matter, as always. I keep saying it because it does. All right, I'm going to head back out of this if I could. We've done the LGBTQ protections. Let's move on to healthcare. And the biggest problem with healthcare is that, as always, I hear every single time, people confuse healthcare with healthcare insurance. There's a difference between healthcare and healthcare insurance. They are two separate things, and they mix them all the time. I remember when Hillary Clinton was coming up with her healthcare issue, when she was trying to fix the healthcare insurance issue, you would hear people in the panels go, "You're not for healthcare?" It's not healthcare. It's healthcare insurance. There are two separate things. Now, I'm not saying we don't need to worry about them. I'm just saying understand they're different. And here it is. 12% of New York City residents are uninsured. Okay. To expand access to healthcare, Zohran will create a new corps of outreach workers to support New Yorkers in navigating healthcare system. Wait a minute. 12% are unsecured. Uninsured. Sorry, uninsured. So to fix this, he's going to create outreach people. Okay. He's not going to change anything else? No. No, he's not. Do you know why? He doesn't have to. Yes. All the time I hear this. People need more health care insurance. Not in New York, you don't. I don't mean to be cruel. You don't. New York State already has something that covers every single child in New York State. If you are a child under 18, you are covered in New York State automatically by the state. I'm not making this up. And it's free. Yes. Doesn't matter how much money you make. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't even matter. Some of you will be pissed about this one. Your immigration status is irrelevant. It's called Child Health Plus in New York State. Already done. So if you are under 18, New York State says you are covered. I don't have documentation. You're covered. My family's poor. You're covered. I have no money. You're covered. My family's rich. You're covered. Child Health Plus covers all children in New York State. All of them. But we need health care insurance for kids. Not in New York State, we don't. We already have it. It is already done. You are covered. I'm not making this up. Go look at Child Health Plus. That's what it's called in New York State. You are covered. If you are under 18, you are covered. Okay, Larry, wise guy. What if you're a poor adult? You are covered in New York State. If you make less than $27,000 a year in New York State, you're covered. Done. You're covered. I'm not making this up. Plan's already there. New York State's already made it that way. If you make less than $27,000 per year, you are covered. How? Just go online and you're covered. How much does it cost? If it's under 20,000, it's free. And unlike 27, it's like $90 a month or something like that. Like that. It's under $100. Covered. If you want their insurance, you can get covered. That's how it works. That's why he's not saying I'm going to change what's happening in New York with the insurance. He's saying I need more outreach workers because people don't know that they're covered. Yes. You might go, that doesn't make any sense, Larry. Why are they so upset? I don't know. I don't know. You are covered. I'm not making this up. You are covered. That's how it works. Under, I think, 27, 28,000, something, but someone will do homework on that. It's something like that. I think it's 27,000, I'm not mistaken, but it's something like that. You're just covered. Done. Just go. So he needs to have outreach workers. Why? So he can tell people to just go get covered. That's how it works. More than 50% of New York State people are on Medicaid and Medicare. Yes. Here's the problem. The healthcare system that you have here in New York State is New York City and New York State coverage. People aren't happy with it. Why? Because it's monopoly New York State coverage. That's why. So wait a minute. People don't want it? Correct. They don't want it. Yeah. But Larry, wouldn't that be the same as Medicare for all? Yes, it would. Wouldn't it be? It would. It would be exactly that. Yeah. Sounds insane, doesn't it? If you think I'm making it up, just Google it yourself. Whatever, ChatGPT it or Perplexity it, whatever's the thing you use your thing, and you will see. I'm not making this up. Totally true. Yes. All right, here we go. Those workers will support patients and understand the public resources available to them. Because it's available to you. How to find insurance? Yes. Apply to programs? Yes. Access financial assistance? Yes. Claim their health benefits? Yes. New York State's got it already. Already done. Already done. But you will hear people talk about, we need more funding. People don't have health insurance. Blah, blah, blah. Not in New York State. Not a thing. Healthcare insurance is crappy, but it exists in New York State for every child, no matter what, every child. And if you make under 27 or 28, whatever the number is, under 20-something thousand, you're done. Don't make 29,000, now you got to work for it. That's probably 12% right there. Could be them, maybe. I don't know. So again, what New York State does, what government does well. If you're poor, stay poor. We got you. Just stay poor. We will keep you poor forever. And you wonder why New York State has the worst wealth gap in the entire nation. The worst wealth gap in the entire nation. Yep. That's New York State. We have basically Medicare for all and the worst wealth gap in the entire country. Huh. What if they're related? Maybe. All right, he goes on. As Trump attacks public health, orange man bad again. Nicely done. Like that. All right. Particularly reproductive health care. Okay. He brings up reproductive health care because they always do. Women's right to choose health care. I want to be very clear. One more time. This is New York City. For those who live in New York City, you may not know this. In New York City, there is zero. And when I say zero, I mean zero. Donut. Nothing. No chance of anything happening with a woman's right to choose. Again, this is codified in the New York State Constitution. We did that was it last year or 2 years ago? I forgot when we did it. We just did it. It is codified in the New York State Constitution. A woman's right to choose. Reproductive rights, totally done by both law and the Constitution. This is not an issue. Kathy Hochul talks about this all the time. Oh, protecting women's right to choose, reproductive health. Why? There's no problem in my state. It's not a thing. They still work on it. They still run on it. For what? Why do you put that in there? Virtue signal yet again. Virtue signal yet again. All right, let me keep going. He will also guarantee his outreach to connect every New Yorker, reproductive care, quality support. Moreover, New York's public hospital system serves over 1 million unique patients every year. And it's a crown jewel of our public health infrastructure. He just said that. He wrote that. Serves 1 million unique patients a year. Okay. Crown jewel, he says. But it faced significant funding gaps, leading to underinvestment, understaffing, and overburdened caregivers. Now, he just said underfunding. You will hear that absolute and total lie every year. If we just had more money. Would you like to guess, out of all 50 states, which state spends the most on Medicaid, Medicare? Would you want to know which state? You guessed it, New York. We spend the most. Number one. Take that, California. Number one, Medicaid, Medicare, and over 50% of our people in our state are on Medicare, Medicare. We spend the most, but it's underfunded. Not just that, in overall healthcare. The average across America is something like $9,000 or $10,000 per year. We spend 14. We're not the most. We're second. I forgot what state's first. We're second. We're not number one. We're number two in that one. So Medicaid, Medicare, number one. Overall, number two. But you know what we are? Underfunded. How much money you got to spend? $14,000 a year isn't enough per person? That's not enough per person. $14,000 per year per person. If you just gave everybody $14,000 in New York State, to put aside for our health care, we'd be fine. Every year, you get $40,000, goes into an account, you keep it, and when you get sick, spend it. It'd be cheaper. You know what you can do? Cut it in half. 7,000. Put $7,000 in your account when you're a kid. $7,000 in your account every year. Just give it to you because we spend it already. So just give it to the people. $7,000 a year. Put it in your account, and you just go ahead, keep it going, and then eventually you'll have tons of money, right? And then you can send on your families, whatever. Who cares? Be fine. That Medicare. Oh, good. What would you do for? This is how much money we spend. I wish I was joking. This again, the last 3 shows I did was heavily me showing how his stuff won't work. Here's me showing his stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not a thing. Here. Meanwhile, we keep closing critical community hospitals. $14,000 a year. Why? What he's going to do, Zohran's going to work with our healthcare unions because that's the issue. And city and state partners to increase funding. Because once we increase funding, that's when we'll be fine. He will protect New York City for future public health emergencies, including guarding against shortage of PPE, because that's a big deal. No, it wasn't. Ensuring adequate surge capacity for healthcare workers. Test and trace is on top of test and trace, because, you know, the lockdowns were a big success. He's learned nothing. He's learned nothing. That's what we just talked about. Yes. Workers and take on the fragmented for-profit healthcare and lower costs for everyone. So the problem is for-profit healthcare. Okay. If that's true, let's say he's right. In New York City right now, the city that he wants to become mayor of, he will be mayor of, I'm sorry. There's a 2-tier system. I bring it up all the time. 2-tier system. If you're wealthy, you go to private doctors. Most of the best doctors have become private doctors. Private equity has invested in many hospitals and doctors. Why? Why did private equity jump on board? Some of you may not know this. When Obamacare came out, the ACA that everyone loves so much, made it illegal, I'm not joking, made it illegal for doctors to own hospitals. I wish I was joking. You cannot. So once you get to a certain level where you come to a hospital, the doctor cannot own it. What did you just do? You invited bankers to come in and own shit. So they do. What did they create? Hospital groups. Of course they would. Of course they would. Obama ensured that we create the hospital groups we have now because ACA. Now, ACA is so effective and awesome, it's made everything cheaper. Except, wait, we need bazillions of dollars of government subsidies every year, or it's not cheaper. Wait, I thought ACA was making it cheaper. Oh, no, it isn't. Making nothing cheaper. Pushing everyone Medicaid, Medicare, dropping $14,000 a year in New York State, the second most of the entire nation. And when it comes to Medicaid, the most in Medicare, the most in the entire nation. But we need more funding, of course. And what has happened? A 2-tier system. So if you're wealthy, you go to a proper doctor. Use your credit card or check. Swipe your credit card, and you go see who you want to see when you want to see. Because you're wealthy. You're good. And that is good care. The wealthy are not angry at our system at all. Why would they be? They're wealthy. They get the best private doctors who don't get stuck in terrible private equity groups. But everyone else does. Some of you are noticing your doctor no longer has a practice anymore. No longer has a practice anymore. She used to have a practice. It was, Jane Doe doctor, whatever. Now she's part of the Excelsior Group medical services practice. She's part of them now. Now she's an employee. Do you notice that? Thank you, Obama. That's where that comes from. Thanks, Obama. Thanks, ACA. Thanks for inviting private equity to come in and buy all the hospitals, hospital groups, and doctors' offices, which is what's been happening. Yeah. Now, can you have your own doctor, your private doctor's office? You can. If you say are in Upper West Side and you charge $200, $250 to show up, yeah, they have a credit card. When you see people talk about things like their Cadillac plans for healthcare, what that means is the plan will allow you will reimburse you for private doctors. Usually not 100%, but some percentage. So I go to some private doctor. They charge me $300. I go there, I get seen, whatever the case may be. I then take that receipt, I submit it to my insurance company, and they go, you know what? We'll throw you $100 for that. Boom. So now it comes $200. That's awesome insurance because I'm wealthy. So who cares, right? I would do it if I didn't get any money back. But I work for a big company. I'm an executive. I get the $100 off. I have my admin person do it for me. I'm not joking. I literally have my company executive assistant go through my medical bills. I'm not joking. My private medical bills. The company pays my assistant to do so. It's always a she. Sometimes he, but it's a she. She goes through it, and she does all my medical bills for me and gets myself reimbursed. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. That's how it actually works. But Larry, it doesn't seem fair. Correct. It isn't fair. So, Mr. Wise Guy, Larry Sharpe, what is your answer? I'll tell you what my answer is. My answer is allowing everyone to have that kind of concierge service. That's my answer. Let everyone have it. How, Larry? How? I'm going to tell you how. You start it with the idea to where you get, as I talked about before, the New York State Social Trust within 3 to 4 years to help pay for Medicaid, Medicare. Why does that matter? Because Medicaid, Medicare is sucking the life out of counties because they have to pay half. Yes. Whatever bills we have in Medicaid, Medicare, generally speaking, about half is paid for by the federal government, about half is paid for by the state. And of the state's half, they charge, give or take, about half to the counties. So the county has to pay. And the county goes, well, I don't want to pay. Too bad. You're paying. It's called an unfunded mandate. That's what it's called in New York State. I'm sure if you live in a different state, it may be called something similar. I don't know, but I know my state. That's what it's called. So you have to pay for it. Well, those unfunded mandates can easily add up to 80, 90% of the entire county budget. I'm not joking. Sometimes the county executives are fighting over 10% of the budget because the rest is all mandated by the state. But imagine if now New York State Trust were to pay for that. That goes away. Huge chunk, maybe 40% of your budget opened up all of a sudden. Wow. We can do all kinds of stuff. Not just that. Here's the most important piece. The New York State Social Trust is going to want to save cash. Of course it will be. Of course it will. Because it's going to be a private company, not run by the government. Okay. Here's what we know. Actuaries will go through and know, depending upon your age, who you are, what your issues are, they will know about how much you're going to spend every year on healthcare. They're going to know that, right? Because they're actuaries. So you, Shelly, they know you because of your age and your background. You're going to spend whatever, $3,000 a year on healthcare, whatever that is, right? You're going to spend that. Great. They just give it to you in a credit card. The credit card can be used at any medical facility that signs up to be part of the system. But whoever that is, doesn't matter. Whether you take insurance or no. So now all of a sudden, private doctors go, wait a minute. I can get that government money, that Medicaid, Medicare. I can get that and not have to have all those documents, all those admin people. I don't have to, and this is true. There's literally, for those who don't know, and how broken our system is, there's literally a group of people who their job is to get money from the government to give to the hospitals and to the doctors. They pay the collectors because the government doesn't want to pay. So they get collectors to decide, here's how we do it. The insurance companies said we do it. Fight for insurance companies. Yes, that's a real thing. You get a cut. So now I got a doctor or doctor's office that owes, that is owed $1 million from insurance companies. Well, he's in trouble. What does he do? He hires Missy, who is a hardcore collector because Missy's hardcore. So he says, hey, go collect my $1 million. Missy goes, yeah, I'll collect $1 million. I want 10%. 10%? Yeah. Give me $100,000 when I collect it, and I'll collect $2 million. That's a thing. That's a real thing. So Missy signs a deal with them. She goes and harasses and calls and figures out the paperwork and reshuffles stuff and knows who to talk to and how it works. Collects the $1 million, takes $100,000, done. That's how it actually works. That's a real thing. If you think I'm making it up, do your own homework. That's how it actually works. That's the system we've made. That sounds like money laundering. It does, doesn't it? It does. You're right. It does. That's the current system. Imagine if you do none of that. You're a doctor's office and you go, hey, you're on Medicaid, Medicare, take your credit card, show up, swipe it, come see me. That's it. I don't got to hire Missy. I don't need 25 people in my office doing paperwork for Medicaid, Medicare, or insurance companies. I don't got to worry about what insurance you take. You swipe your credit card and come see me. They'll be like, I love that. People start doing it. Here's the best part. They'll start doing this. They'll go, hey, wait. Don't swipe every time you come see me. Don't do that. Use your credit card and do a monthly, like a gym membership. Do a monthly membership. Do that. What? Yeah, monthly membership. $150 a month per person. That was an actual price a couple years ago. It's probably $250 now. Whatever. $250 a month. Do that. Swipe your credit card. Do it for a year, and I'll give you a discount. I'll give you a discount. $2,400 for the year. Swipe it. Done. Boom. Come whenever you want. Whenever you come, it's $5. That's it. Whatever you come in for, $5. That is your fee. That's your copay. $5 is all you got to pay. Done. This is already happening across the country. It's already I'm making this up. It's already happening. So you pay your monthly fee, whatever. Now, it is now in the doctor's best interest for you to be as healthy as possible. So when you show up, swipe your credit card, $5. So give them the $5 in cash, whatever it is. You show up, they're going to sit with you and talk to you and say, hey, Shelly, how are you eating? How are you sleeping? What's up with your medications? How can we fix this? Because I would like you to be very healthy. I would like you to never have to show up here ever, so I can just keep getting you $2,500. Now, Larry, 2 questions I'm going to have. What happens if I have a big problem? No worries. You still have Medicare, Medicaid. It didn't go away. It didn't go away. I just put X dollars in your account. Larry, what if I don't use it? You keep it. I just gave you a health savings account, didn't I? I did. You just get to keep it. But wait, so I get to keep it. Huh. I get to keep it. And then, so if I have a problem, I'm able to save up so I can pay a whole bunch of money to take care of that issue. Like if I get an ambulance problem, whatever. Yeah. Not just that. What if you are a member of the hospital or a member of the doctor's group, and because of that, your ambulance call is cheap because now they will have their own ambulance service. But Larry, eventually, doctors will realize that this is way better than Medicaid, Medicare, and they'll stop taking Medicaid, Medicare. Yes, correct. This is the only way to shift to a privatized system. This is the way. But Larry, what about people who are very poor? No worries. We make a very simple rule. Hey, doctor's office. Hey, hospital. Use your monthly system that we all use. Use that system. And if you bring on X% of people who are, as the state calls poor, whatever, however the state decides to, whatever, $27,000 or less, or whatever the number is, this is who we consider poor. Take on this percentage of them for free or insanely cheap, whatever, for free or cheap, whatever you decide. Take them on. And we will say that for everyone in your staff, there is no state payroll tax. Done. I incentivize them to do so. But Larry, we'll lose money on payroll tax. No, we're saving money on Medicare and Medicaid. It's fine. Keep your payroll tax. Keep it. I've just saved gazillions of dollars on Medicaid, Medicare. Keep your payroll tax. Now, if you have a large facility, payroll tax is a lot of money. It's 6 figures a month. 6 figures a month on some of these facilities. I'm not joking. You will happily take on a percentage of people for free. And here's the best part. No one will know which one is which. So that means people who are dirt poor, people who are mid-level, people who are wealthy, all get the same care. Huh. Isn't that weird? Weird how it didn't decide to punish the rich somehow, or make some more programs, or build out some new office of the poor people in the hospital office. Didn't do any of that. I said, here's a system that will incentivize people to all get good care. Larry, is there any example of that happening? Yes, it's the IT world right now. If you go back 15 years, the IT world, if you had a problem with your computer, it was what was called the break-fix model. People would, my computer's broken. I call my IT guy. Hey, my computer is broken or my server's down, whatever. Come fix it or whatever, right? They will come by, charge you by the hour, and fix your computer. So whenever you were down, you paid a whole lot of money. It was an extra punch in the face. Constantly. That was the norm. It was in the best interest of your IT company for your stuff to collapse and to break. Because when it broke, they got paid. It was called a break-fix model. Once it's broken, you pay them to fix it. But they changed. And they went to what's called the gym membership model, the membership model. So now that has happened. It's very rare you do break-fix model. This happened here or there, but it's rare. Almost always now, what is it? It's, you pay X dollars per computer, X dollars per server, per month, whatever that is. I got, 6 computers and 2 servers, whatever you pay, or 9 workstations or whatever. You pay X dollars. And as long as everything's working, they just keep getting paid. Something's broken, they go fix it. You don't pay extra. Their job is to keep it running. That's their job. They get paid to keep it running. So they're going to go through and make sure you got no viruses, make sure stuff's going on, because they don't want to have to send their tech to you because that costs them money. They would like everything to be working perfectly. In their perfect world, they never show up. They want you always up and running. Always. The incentives are now correct. You can follow exactly the same model in a medical field. It will take years to make this work. It will. This is not a 5-second thing. It will take years. But this is the future if you do it right. What will happen? Doctors will have the incentive to not make you sick. The incentive is for you to be healthy. Right now in our current system, it's not a healthcare system. It's a sick care system. That's what it is. Every single time you go to a doctor that you have insurance, not just on your credit card, you have insurance. It always ends with a procedure, a prescription, or a test. Always. Why? That's how to get paid. It's in their best interest for you to be sick. So be sick. Take some more pills. Take some more this. But now, no. They get paid already. You pay it every month. They don't need you to do a procedure. It costs them more. They don't need you to do. They want you to just be as safe as possible, be happy as possible. They're going to give you what you want, what you need. That's it. What's wrong with that? That model is the right model. We can move towards it. It'll take some time. But then all of a sudden, we wouldn't need all this goddamn federal money, would we? Yes. So anyway, his system is useless, has no value. It means nothing. And mine is way better in every way, shape, and form. Let me grab a couple of these comments if I can. All right. Where is this? Kyle says, what is the purpose of shaming straight men for existing? True. No need. Straight men are fine. I'm a straight man. We're good. Gay people are fine too. So trans, all fine. They're all good. They can all exist. No worries. Rick says, Mamdani has a virtue signal that his Islamic background doesn't mean he wants to murder gays. Oh, interesting concept. Do you think that he's trying to overcompensate? I hadn't thought of that. Maybe, Rick. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. All righty. Say no to 1984 says, AI didn't become part of the alphabet soup to take on the system. I became libertarian logic. Yeah, I don't know where you're going with that one. I must have missed the joke. Sorry. There we go. Shelly says, well, if they punch me, I'm punching back with a roll of nickels in my fist. Nice. Just saying. Get some. I love that. So good. Yes. All righty. Let me see here. Zeno says, don't misgender me. Sorry. I'll be good. All righty. Let me keep going here if I can. All righty. Let's see. Gene says, I liked and shared. This is my first comment. I hope everyone will do so. Please follow Gene's example. That will be amazing. Yes. Okay. All righty. Phil says, Elise is changing her tune. She's starting to sound like Margaret Sanger. Oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. No. Well, Elise will have to change her tune. Elise Stefanik will have to change her tune because she has no tune. Her tune is, and she's been screwed, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed. Mamdani screwed Elise over badly. And so did Trump. They both did. Because all Elise Stefanik says is, Mamdani's a jihadist. He's a blah, blah, blah. He's an evil brown man. Whatever she says. She just does the Muslim tropes and just yells and screams that stuff, right? Well, it's fine because Trump was doing it too. Trump was like, yeah, he's a communist or whatever. All the things. And the Republican propaganda machine went into full on as it always does, right? If you have noticed, Republican spin machine, anyone who's a Democrat who they think might have any chance of victory is always a communist, a Marxist, a jihadist, a Islamist, whatever. They're always all the things. Always. That's what they always do, even though they're almost never that, right? Don't get me wrong. To be forward, Zohran is a socialist. That's true. It's one of the rare times they're right. But usually they call everybody a Marxist so when they're not, right? They called Kathy Hochul that. She's not. It's made up shit. That's Republican propaganda they made up. But they pushed this on Zohran hardcore. And Elise was like, yay, I get to be all my ists and phobes and I get paid for it. And then all of a sudden, Zohran went down to Trump and Trump was like, yeah, he's a nice guy. I like him. Not so bad. You know, we agree on some things. Elise was like, look, I've been calling him every name in the book. Now what am I going to do? So, yeah. So Trump stabbed Elise in the back. Not surprised. So, yeah, that's what actually happened. So, anyway, let me keep moving down here if I can. All righty. Let's see here. Sinner 1984 says, just tell your doctor's office you don't have insurance. You get 2 calls and a text every day for the rest of your life trying to get you signed up for an insurance program. Happened to me. Yep. Yes, absolutely. So Mike says, you aren't considering all the corporations that donate to Dems, Larry. They need extra money to make up all donations to like the DNC. Yeah, I mean, look, that's true. I think you do find a lot of companies that are trying to somehow get deals and such. I'm not sure Mamdani's the guy for this, though, right? The real job giver in New York is really Hochul, far more than him. He will give some jobs out, you know. If you look at Eric Adams, he did too. But the big jobs are really at the state level. They really are. They're at the state level. But yes. So Michael Zona say increase funding, prices go up. So need to raise funding again. That's been Obamacare since 2010 as planned. Medicare for all is the idea on amphetamines. Accurate statement. Accurate statement. Yes. Andrea says, could it be that hospitals are closing because of being overregulated? Yes. Of course. Of course. For those of you who don't know, there's a thing called certificate of need. I don't know if every state has it, but New York State has it. What does that mean is every hospital bed, I'm not joking, is controlled by the governor. Let me repeat that. Every hospital bed is controlled by the governor. See, well, Larry, I can't just open up a hospital? No. You have to apply to the state government if His Majesty, or Her Majesty in this case, will allow you to open a hospital because you have to have a certificate of need. The government decides, I wish I was joking, the government decides if a community needs a hospital or not. Because you know what always works, Andrea? Central planning. With the exception of always, it works. Sorry, with the exception of never. With the exception of never, it works every time. With the exception of never. It works every time. Yeah. Centralized planning. We still have that in New York. But Larry, how could we possibly have it? How could it work without it? We'll put up hospitals in place that don't make sense. First off, we do that now. Otherwise, hospitals wouldn't be closing, would they? We do that now. But there's a secondary medical system right next to this system, right? This is what they would call the, what was the title they use? Oh, Jesus Christ. Essential. Thank you. The essential medical care. Then next to that is the non-essential, things like LASIK eye surgery, cosmetic dentistry, body modifications, things like that, right? All those things. That's right next to it. Somehow, if you were to get, cosmetic surgery, or you want to get a boob job, or you want to get your nose fixed, or whatever, you want to get LASIK eye surgery, you want to get a facelift, whatever. Somehow there's places everywhere for you, no matter where you are. Somehow the market has figured out exactly how many plastic surgeons or cosmetic dentists that we need. And somehow it just fills it right up without any problem, without any centralized planning required whatsoever. Isn't that crazy? And in every single case in the non-essential world that's not run by government, in every single case, Andrea, every one of them, prices have gone down, service has gone up, accessibility has improved. In every single case. Everyone. When I was a kid, I tell the story often. LASIK eye surgery when it first came out, cosmetic dentistry when it first came out. When I was a kid, only like actors, rich people got cosmetic dentistry. No one else could get cosmetic dentistry. You couldn't, it was way too expensive. You had to be like a bazillionaire, like massive actor or wealthy billionaire. Well, at that point, millionaire to get that. No, regular people couldn't get that. A LASIK eye surgery was so expensive, they did it per eye because it was too expensive to do both. You do one eye at a time. It's true. Now all over the place. But you know what has gone up? What the government's run. Let me say it again. What the government runs, the essential, keeps going up. That's weird. No, it's not. No, it's not. So, yes. All righty. Walk down here if I can. Shelley says, except that Cuomo made the governor in charge of hospitals and Hochul made doctors sign on with the hospitals. So Mamdani has no idea what he's talking about. True. Yes. Yeah. Our doctor made house calls and was a woman. House calls now are against the law if they work for a hospital. I'm not joking. There's also, I think that was ACA. It might be New York State. I think that's ACA. If you are a member of a hospital, you may not, it's against the law, do house calls. I'm not joking. Because, yeah. Andrea said, growing up, we went to a private doctor's office. Yes, that's how it was. That's how it was. Government got involved and everything got shitty. Always. Always. That's the norm every single time. Correct. All righty. Cade says, as a kid in the 60s, our doctor had his office in his house. Yep. The main thing I remember is his huge ashtray with the pyramid of cigarette butts piled high. So that's one that's improved since then. True. Yes, that's true. Shelly says, I remember doctors smoking while they're working on you. Yep. Yeah. That's true. I remember that too. That's good. All righty. Missy says, if you're a resident, your donation of $5 to $250 counts 6 times. True. $10 equals $60. Make every cent of your hard-earned money count at LarrySharpe.com/donate. Guys, I know you're enjoying what I'm saying. I know many of you have already donated. I got it. I love it. I got it. Here's the issue. If you have already donated, get your friend who lives in New York City or New York State to donate. Please do that. Please do that. It does matter. All right? Why? I need 5,000 New Yorkers total to donate, which means, Larry, I gave you $10 already. Okay, great. Your friend owes you $5. Tell him don't give you the $5. Donate $5 to me. Because if you get between $5 and $250, New York State, once I raise $500,000 and 5,000 people, will then multiply that by 6. So every single time you can, please do that if you can. So, yes. All right. Thank you for that, Missy. I appreciate that. All right. I have a super chat here from Phil. Mamdani protecting the alphabet people. Lady Elise told me he's a scary radical Muslim who's going to throw gays off the Empire State Building. Yes. Yes. I thought he's gonna kill everybody. He just hates people. He's a jihadist or whatever. Yeah. That of course was just Republican propaganda, which is common. So we know Democrats do the same thing. Democrats, remember how Democrats told us that when Trump gets elected, there's going to be no elections anymore? Remember that? We just had one. That's weird. Democrats told us once Trump's elected, no more elections. Remember that? It's going to be camps for the gay people. Remember that? That's what they told us. It's going to be camps for the trans people, and trans people are going to be getting killed in the streets. And it's going to be, they literally said no elections. Remember that's going to cancel all elections. Remember that we told the Democrats told us that garbage? That went away. It's going to be armbands, and we're all going to be marching down the streets and whatever. Remember that? Didn't happen. Well, Republicans got their propaganda too. Same thing. It's all propaganda. Don't believe any of that garbage. Totally garbage. So yes. All righty. We also got a donation for someone who wants one of our Second Amendment t-shirts. Okay. I have to show this. I do love this piece. I have to show this piece for those of you who this is not what it's about today, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna show you this if I can. All right, let's see if I can find this here. This part is one of my my coolest or cooler shirts that I have. I've got a couple new shirts that if you guys would like to have them, you can if you want to pick them up. Let me see if I can find them here. All righty. I'm going to pop this up over here so you can see it. There's the merch drop right there. And it is. I can pop this up. There we go. I will make it bigger so you can see it. There we go. It is my Second Amendment one. If you can see it right there, it is a, I can't say it because I might get in trouble on YouTube, but it is a 9 Mike. There we go. That's what it is. It says, it's a right, not a suggestion. Larry Sharpe for governor. If you want to grab one, please grab one. It's a cool shirt. If you want to grab it, it was great. You can donate over at LarrySharpe.com/shop to grab that cool shirt if you would like that cool shirt. Also, for those of you who like, who may not want that type of shirt, but instead would prefer one that is talking about perhaps weed. I'll say that a specific weed that is now legal in certain parts of the country. There we go. Again, I'm on YouTube, guys. I apologize. I apologize for having to say it's talk like a kid. We have this one here, which is regulate like onions, Larry Sharpe. And it looks like a piece of that weed coming out of an onion. So please enjoy that too if you want. We do have some cool shirts. If you're going to grab some, please feel free to jump on board. All right. So anyway, back to the platform, as I mentioned. Healthcare is done. I appreciate that. All right. Let me keep going down here if I can. Open this back up. I've covered a bunch of these if I can. All righty. Okay. Philo Abstract says, for a moment, Must admit I was falling into the villainization tactics used against Mamdani. It's interesting how fast those tactics can work on some minds. Yes, because we're afraid. And I get it. We're afraid. I get it. 100%. So, but it's just not true. It is them trying to demonize each other. Yes. Kate says, Larry just sounded like the little up to Trump on South Park just now. Relax, guy. Yes, that, by the way, is not actually Trump. I mean, it is now Trump. South Park has made that Trump. That's actually Saddam Hussein. Same name. Relax, guy. That's him. Yes, yeah. I'm not that good at that, but that's true. So, any case. All righty. Lindsay says, why is viewership lower since announcement? Here is why, my friend. Because I've had to split up where I advertise. I've had to split up everything because of the rules and regulations between the Sharpe way and Larry Sharpe. So everything's cut in half. So that sucks, which is why I keep bugging you guys to help me out by clicking the like button, sharing your posting, and making sure you're subscribed to this channel, the page, whatever you're watching on. Because of that, I've had to cut everything in half when it comes to advertising, everything in half, period. So yeah, that's the reason why. So yes. I don't know. I know you may not like that, but yeah, absolutely. Phil says, oh, I thought it was 1911. It is not. I gave my daughter actually designed that. 3 options. It says she can do a GLOCK was one option. She can do the 9 Mike, which is the one that I trained on in Marine Corps, or 1911, which is the one I actually qualified with on Marine Corps. So those are my 2 that I liked. So yes, absolutely. So, Philo Abstract says, for trans people, especially on the social medias, it's only getting worse for us, especially on Twitter. This is true. I want to be very clear. What I talked about when it came to the LGBT, blah, 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 was specifically for New York City. I recognize that the war is not over in other parts of this country. I'm 100% aware of that. He is running or has run for, and it will soon be the mayor of New York. I am speaking specifically to that. I want to be clear. I was talking about that. It is about being the mayor of New York. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Let me grab that if I could. That's done. All righty. I think I've covered that piece already. I think we're good. All right. Let me move on to the next piece if I could. I think I covered healthcare in this regard. We spend the most. We don't have to worry about it. This is something he just made up. I will now move to labor. Well, you know what? No, what? I won't. I'm going to pop to the next one, which is very close, which is Trump-proofing New York City. Yes. He literally has one called Trump-proofing New York City. Yeah. Literally, what he should say is virtue signaling against the orange man, because this entire thing is just that. It is virtue signaling against the orange man. Donald Trump is tearing at the fabric of New York City within his second term. He has deployed ICE agents to pluck New Yorkers from their families. He has sent already high pricing, skyrocketing, high price over tariffs. That's not New York City. That's the country. Everything he just said is the entire country. But not just that. Zohran here will fight Trump's attempts to gouge working class. Zohran went down and chatted with Trump. And the ICE issue is minimal here compared to every place else. He made sure of that. He just talked to him. He did literally what, this would sound funny, what Curtis Lee was said. What Cuomo and Mamdani said in the debates was, I'm going to fight Trump. He's a fascist. I'm going to fight him. They all said that. Then what did Sliwa say? Sliwa said, you don't fight Trump. That's dumb. Go talk to him. Make a deal. Trump's a deal maker. It's what I've been saying forever. Trump is a deal maker. It's so obvious. He's a deal maker. Just go deal with him. That's what he does. He's proven that a gazillion times. So what did Mamdani do? He went down and made a deal with him. Of course. Of course. Mamdani is many things. Stupid is not one of them. Whether you like him or not, he's not dumb. He knew, I'm not going to go fight this guy. I'm going to go down and make a deal. And he did. And he did. So, yes. Any case, he goes on. He'll ensure our immigrant New Yorkers are protected by strengthening our sanctuary city apparatus. Stop. We're already a sanctuary city. Like, it's already here. Here, he'll make New York City an LGBTQIA plus sanctuary city and protect reproductive rights. Protect reproductive rights. What are you talking about? Everything I've talked about. Okay, I'm done. I've covered this already. I get so bothered because it's just virtue signaling. And again, 6 pages. He put together 6 pages on how he's going to do literally nothing except just yell Trump bad. This is 6 pages of Orange Man bad. Protecting immigrant New Yorkers. Already there. Already done. Already done. Bolster legal support. So again, here we go. $165 million for funding for immigrant legal defense services. What about people who are arrested by the cops for defending themselves? Do you got a couple million for those guys? How about for Dexter Taylor? Do you got some millions for that guy? How about for guys who are trying to defend themselves on a subway? You got some money for them? No, you don't. You got $165 million for, again, this is his words, let me be clear. But despite the fact that an estimated 400,000 New Yorkers are at urgent risk of deportation, the underfunding, of course it's underfunded because everything's underfunded. If we just throw more money at it, done and done. Just throw more money. So we have to add an extra $165 million. New Yorkers who are native New Yorkers and Americans can't pay their rent. I'm not making that up. There are tons of New Yorkers right now who are having their salaries garnished, their paychecks garnished by the federal government because they have to pay their student loans. I'm not joking. I met a woman 2 days ago. 2 days ago? 2 days ago. Yep, 2 days ago. No, yesterday. Who told me she was 50 years old and still has student debt. Yes, still paying it. And we want to take $165 million and give it to the 400,000, admitting 400,000 people who might get deported. That's his answer. $165 million to fund their legal services. Now, we already have it because he said it's underfunded. That means we already got millions. We already got millions of this already. There we go. It's already there. See that? And we're going to protect LGBTQ because we already have, again, safe haven, transgender family. In New York City, again, I'm going to repeat this, New York City, we already have protections. If you are fighting or attacking or harming immigrants, or you are fighting or attacking or harming the gender and sexual minority community, the laws are already there for them to protect you, to sue, to fight. We're already there. All they're doing is making illegal things illegaler. Already protected. Again, I'm going to be very clear. There are bigots who will absolutely attack and punish people because of their gender or their sexual orientation or because they're migrants. Of course it exists. Of course it happens. But here's the but part. We already have the laws that protect them. Those people are protected by the law, and the people will be attacked. They will go to jail. They'll be arrested. Yes, and they can sue. So they can actually get some financial compensation. Already there in the state. We're good. Done. You don't have to make it illegaler. Not required. But what we're going to do is now, of course, another $51 million for legal defense. Look at this. And here is protection against Trump's cuts. Okay. This part I actually like conceptually. He's actually saying how Trump is so evil and so bad that a bunch of the city's budget won't be able to come from the federal grants. True. That's true. He says right there, there's $8 billion in just federal grants. So not just the federal monies, but federal grants. 7% of the New York City budget is just federal grants. 7%. $8 billion. True. Not wrong. I love that. So what's his plan? To raise some money. Well done. Okay. This part we're good. So raise money so that you're not reliant upon the federal government. Okay. Me and Mamdani, of the 4 shows I've done, here we go. Now we're on the same page. Okay. There's something. See, look at that, Mike. Something him and I agree upon. I love that. He is correct. So how do we do that? Well, he says tax the corporations. Mamdani. we were doing good for a minute there. We were like right there. We were simpatico for like 30 seconds. And you blew it with, and then we'll tax the wealthiest people because they won't leave. And then we'll start collecting what the city's owed because you couldn't do that from negligent landlords. Yeah. We were doing so well there, Mamdani, for a second, but we didn't. And how he's doing it is he's saying he's protecting against Trump's coming for Medicaid and public hospital, because Trump's coming for a Medicaid and public hospital, because Trump's right now is White House going, excellent. Now to destroy New York City's public hospitals. I cannot wait. I've been waiting for Mamdani to take over. So finally, my plan can come into fruition and I can destroy all of New York City's hospitals. That's what Trump's doing right now. Stop, Mike. You know it's true. He's right now. He is laughing like an evil mad scientist, saying, now, finally, it's been years he's been waiting for the communists to take over New York so we can finally destroy the New York public hospitals, because that's what he wrote. Sounds pretty dumb when I say that, doesn't it? Because it's dumb. It sounds like propaganda, doesn't it? Because it's propaganda. None of that shit's true. Trump doesn't care at all about this. I'm not backing Trump. I'm not like, Trump's great. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Trump doesn't care about this at all. He does not care. He's not like, I can't wait to destroy the public hospital system. If he wanted to, he would have destroyed it when he ran the first time, wouldn't he? He's president for 4 years. Could have destroyed it then. Could have destroyed it earlier this year if that was his evil plot or whatever that he was trying to achieve. He could have done it before. What's he waiting on? Yeah, it sounds dumb because it's dumb. It sounds like propaganda because it's propaganda. None of that stuff's true. But yes, he will say that. And so he just says all this stuff because Orange Man bad. Again, 6 pages here. Protect workers from Trump's attacks. So now Trump is saying, now I can finally attack the New York City workers. I've been waiting for that. Yeah, no. If anything, if you notice what Trump has done recently, he's like, don't get rid of them all. Trump's like backing up the H-1B1 visas now. Remember that? He ain't doing it at all. But he wants to throw all these money in here. Okay, next is defending reproductive rights. The Mamdani administration will protect New Yorkers from false and deceptive information spread by crisis. So we're going to have a ministry of truth. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? For all you people who have said, and many of you had watching, Larry, you don't understand what socialism is now. It's not what you think it is. It's not old Soviet-style socialism. That's not what we're talking about. Stop with that, Larry. You're backward. What it really is about workers owning the means of production. Remember that? I have gone through tonight in the last 3 shows all of Mamdani's policies. Every one of them. I think I maybe have one app to go through right now, but almost all of them. Every one of them. Where is that? Nowhere. Nowhere. At no point does he talk about workers owning the means of production. Nowhere. In its entire policies. 0. Not one spot. So they tell me, I hear people tell me all the time, you understand, Larry, that's not socialism. That's the old school. That's the Soviet Union. That's not that. That's not that. It's about the workers owning the means of production. Okay. What do I see? Centralized planning. The taking of private property to make it public property, meaning to make government property. And tons of centralized planning. And then finally back to, well, what could go wrong? Ministry of Truth. Literally Soviet. His policies are the same policies of the Soviet Union and of the, at that time, communist China. Now, China's a little bit different here. Literally. But people keep telling me I'm wrong. Well, I went through his policies, and I would ask you, how many hours? Oh, 6 hours now I've been through his policies? 6 hours, give or take? 7 hours, whatever it's been? Not once have I seen him saying, here's how the workers will control the policy. No. I've heard him supporting unions. controlling, monopolize unions. I've seen that. Monopolize unions, yeah, which is centralized control. That he's done. But where the workers owning stuff. I don't remember anything about private property at all, or even community property. Where's the community owning stuff? How about that? Where's, okay, like private people, because they're evil, because they own stuff. Where's the groups owning it? Nowhere. Nowhere. I'm looking. We're just increasing the budget. 135 million, 21 million. See the numbers? Then they will raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour. Okay, that sounds good. But then, okay, you could raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour. Option one. Option two, give them ownership in a company. Where's that one? No, we're just making sure we have more wage slaves. That's his plan. His awesome plan is more wage slaves. That's his great plan right there. I'm not joking. He's in a ban non-compete. We said this one already. Ban non-compete. We're talking about this already. Where's this? This is his plan. This is how we're going to stop Trump. That's it. Legal defense funds, $51 million. Didn't he say that New Yorkers can't pay their rent? He was right. It's true. He's going to drop $25 million here, $16 million here, $135 million here, all this stuff. Right? Let me deal with the immigration piece. He's going to add $165 million to defend immigrants in court. Okay, got it. How about instead you spend 10% of that, $16 million, in building a facility that can make them legal? They could pay you to become legal. So we can make money on it, and they get the legal people to become legal, and then have them leave the state. So they don't have to stay in a sanctuary city. They can become legal and go wherever they want, whether they want to stay here or not. We don't have to keep them here anymore. We won't need ICE here anymore. I said we have to actually build an Ellis Island here in the Bronx. Take that 165, half of that, 10% of that, build that facility. Done. And then it'll make money and make people legal. And they can leave New York City if they don't want to be here, instead of being stuck here when they don't want to be here. They can pay taxes like anybody else. You don't have to have the office of the immigrant of the blah, blah, blah office bullshit you make up. You don't have to have any of that. No legal fund, not required. No. Don't need any of that stuff. They could pay into, like, I don't know, insurance and stuff. Yeah. Imagine that. Isn't that crazy? You could do that. They wouldn't have to be on public assistance. Imagine that. No public assistance. All those things. So all this Trump-proofing stuff you see here, all of this, all of it can be fixed with one thing. One Ellis Island in the Bronx. Maybe one more in Brooklyn. Maybe two. Maybe two. One in the Bronx, one in Brooklyn. That's it. Make two. Follow the rules of the federal government, because the federal government decides who's a green card or orange card holder, whatever. Make a rule for whatever it is. Do that. Then everybody can come on down, come to New York, pay to make it happen. And we can make money. We can make money instead of spending all this money. No need for all this stuff. All goes away. Don't need any of it. No guys try to tax the wealthy or whatever. I know what I hear all the time. This is another story I hear from a lot of people who love this guy. They'll say, Larry, you don't understand. You don't understand. The wealthy don't leave. That's a story. That's a propaganda that the Republicans make. That's Republican propaganda. That's not real. That's not Republican propaganda. That's the IRS. That's the BLS. Their statistics. New York State loses about $20 billion per year due to migration. New York State requires a $20 billion bailout every single year from the federal government. New York State's budget spending is about 1/3 from the federal government. That's true, going up. The average person who leaves New York State makes about $500,000 a year. That's the average, about $500,000 a year. If you make $500,000 a year, you are a millionaire. That's how that works. You're a millionaire. Yeah, they're leaving. We've already lost a congressman. Probably there's another one or two coming up here, depending on how they decide to count them, because people are leaving so much. Yes, there was one point that brought us up, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, where Florida was taking on so many residents from New York State that they were actually, I'm not joking, changing over 6,000 licenses per month. That's 200 a day. 200 a day. Swapping over from Florida to New York. New York to Florida. That's how bad they're running away from here. Yeah. It is crazy. It is crazy. But not going to work. This is all a bunch of uselessness. All right. I covered the Trump review. I'm going to 2 more here that I probably could have gone through before, but I'll grab these last 2 pieces if I can. Raise the minimum wage. All right. I understand why someone would want to raise the minimum wage. I do get it. I understand the concept behind it completely. Here's the reality. When it comes to minimum wage, most New Yorkers who are working are not making minimum wage or less. About 10% are. In fact, the minimum wage was supposed to go up to $22 per hour and thing. Only about 14%, 10 to 14% of New Yorkers, New York City people, are making $22 or less. Most New York City people are making more than that. About 85% make more than $22 per hour already. Now, I'm not saying that's $1 billion, but he's acting like this is going to solve the problem. It isn't. We have to have better jobs, more ownership, and people who can work better with something else. People not getting hammered, which is where they're being hammered, by the business taxation. Not just that. Another piece I want to talk about is payroll taxes. We start getting rid of payroll taxes, and you'll find people give up more money. There are some people who are paying 80% of their salaries in payroll taxes. I'm not joking. Ending payroll taxes will raise hourly rates. That's the actual way of doing it. It will happen naturally. Most New Yorkers, about 85%, are making more than $22 per hour. The mean is $40 an hour. That's the mean in New York City. And again, I'm talking New York City because he is running or is now going to be the mayor of New York City. Most people don't know that. They think everybody in New York City is making $10. The mean is $40 an hour. 85% make $22 an hour or more. So it isn't like everybody's starving. That's not a thing. Are people struggling? Yes. I want to be very clear. Are they struggling? Yes. They're not starving. They're struggling. It's true. It has to get better. Just telling people we're going. Has wage or price fixing ever worked? No. Who did it all the time? Soviets. This is literally Soviet policies. This is not socialist as the new socialists say. This is Soviet policies. That's the issue again and again. All right. So look, I get why he wants to do it. Make more opportunity and this won't be required. Do you want the wages to go up? Okay, me too. Like, I'm not against wages going up. I would love people to make tons of money. Okay, allow people to have ownership, like I talk about, like the actual socialists today is supposed to talk about. Let them have ownership. They can pay themselves bonuses as they see fit because they're making tons of money. They can support their customers and clients. Good, let them go do it. Not just that. If you have more demand for labor, you will have to pay more. That's how it works. Train people effectively. Get our kids in the trades. Tradesmen are making cash throughout our state. I keep saying that. We're like, we got to give them the so miles per hour. Do you know how many people in this state who are tradesmen are making over $50 an hour? Lots of them. Lots of them. And a bunch of them, believe it or not, a bunch of them are just day workers who are literally, again, migrants. Migrants are showing up, getting $200-300 a day. They work 10 hours, maybe. 10 hours, maybe. If they work that, $300. Cash. Cash. Off the books. That's $30 an hour and no taxes. That's the equivalent of $45 an hour. You get $300 a day to work. Off the books, cash, that's the equivalent of $45 an hour. That's the same as like $450 one day's work. And that's not even New York City. Be a tradesman. Been saying this forever. We still don't see it. We still don't see it. Anyway, I've yapped away on this one. It drives me crazy. Let me grab one more if I can. Small business. He is talking about small businesses. All right, here we go. He's going to tell us what he thinks.
There's a lot of things that make New York City special. For me, it's the delis and bodegas. Habibi, could I get an egg and cheese on a roll with jalapeno?
One Zohran special coming up.
Cute.
Small businesses employ nearly half of all New Yorkers in the private sector. They keep the city running. But the last 4 years have been hard. We've seen the dollar slice go extinct, storefront after storefront close, and had a mayor in Eric Adams who has ignored the struggles of small business.
Okay, this is where he shines. He shines in this. Even if you don't like him, this guy shines in this. He's got charisma. He's cool talking. And now, for the first time in this group here, this is a real problem. He's actually saying real things that's really happening. Well done for him. This is a good thing he's doing. This is good.
That's why, as mayor, I'm going to make it faster, easier, and cheaper for small businesses to get started and stay open.
Look at that. He's going to help out small businesses by...
First, we're going to cut fines and fees for small businesses by 50%.
Okay, cutting fines and fees. This guy's a Republican now. Okay, great. I like that. This is a good deal. I'm not mad at this. Let's cut them fines and fees. Could get rid of them, but it's fine. Good. But didn't he say landlords are going to get hammered with like doubles and triples? That's fine because landlords are evil. Bodega owners are fine. Okay.
Regulations are important, but small businesses have to navigate more than 6,000 of them with far fewer resources than the big chains.
True. Oh my God, this guy's libertarian all of a sudden. Okay. Zohran. Okay. Let's see if we got something. Maybe I'm going to wrap this up on a positive thing here. Maybe I am. Phil, you with me on this one? We might be good on this one. Okay. Whew. It's looking good so far. Here we go. Come on, Zohran. Bring it home, brother. Bring it home.
That's why, as mayor, I'll appoint a mom and pop czar with the clear...
Oh, then you literally made a czar. Damn. All right. I should have known. I was hoping. I was like, okay, we got something. He started off strong. He did. He started off real strong. Then he went, and now we're going to make centralized control. Okay. There's a problem with small businesses. There's too much this or that. What are we going to do? Centralized control. Because that always works.
Your goal of making it easier to run a small business.
Because you know who knows best about small businesses, how to run them? Bureaucrats. They know. They know. When I'm sitting there saying, how do I run my small business? Who do I need? A bureaucrat. That's going to help.
$1,000 isn't a lot to our city government, but it can be make or break for a small business trying to get off the ground.
Okay.
Next, we're going to require permits and applications. The mom and pop czar will coordinate with agencies to speed up turnaround time.
See, the mom and pop czar is going to coordinate with other agents. This sounds like it's never going to fucking work ever. You could just... He started with this too many regulations and fines and fees. You could end those regulations and fines and fees. Kind of nutty. No. Okay, Mike, stop. No, Mike, stop. Conservative that you are. Get rid of fines and fees. No. We're going to make another level, another layer of bureaucracy, because that always works.
Cut red tape and let New Yorkers start businesses soon.
You could just cut red tape. But no, we have to assign a czar. Why do they assign a czar? Why? Here's the reason why. Because centralized control will make sure that works just fine. Of course, it won't increase corruption. No. It won't allow for expediters that if you know somebody, you get away with stuff. No. It'll be perfect because you know what always happens? Good stuff from government.
Because you shouldn't have to fill out 24 forms and go through 7 agencies to start a barbershop.
You could just remove those forms. Right? Like, he's right. Again, here's where this guy shines. He's right in what he just said. So what's his answer? More bureaucracy. If you shouldn't have to fill out the 7 and 24 forms, you could just get rid of the 7 and 24 forms. You don't need a czar for that at all. Do you?
But most of all, we're putting our money where our mouth is. By
Okay.
increasing funding for small business support programs.
See? Okay. I know what you guys were thinking. You were thinking, Larry, he understands how tough it is to run a small business, right? So what he's going to do is maybe bring in this small business guy to trash regulations and make things easier. No. He is going to make a czar, because that's the right do that because that'll work. And then he's going to add more programs. In fact, 500% more. Oh my God. Hold on. Go back. All right, here we go. He's going to increase funding because you know what we always need? More funding. Why is it always more funding? It's always more funding.
By increasing funding for small business support programs with 500%, we're going to invest $20 million in our Business Express service.
See, this is what's going to work. See, you would think, I know you were thinking, you're like, Larry, wait a minute. Can't we just like end those things? No. We're going to make a SAR. Then when we're done with that, we're going to increase the programs by 500%. We're going to spend money, and then we're going to invest $20 million in Business Express service teams. Okay. Or hear me out. Hear me out, Mamdani, before you yell at me. Hear me out. Or you could just end the red tape. You could do that. You could just know that fraud is a crime. So if you defraud people, you either go to jail or are heavily fined. You are punished by cheating your customer. You could just do that. Then you don't require the Business Express service teams or Ivan the Terrible SAR or the 500% increase in bureaucracy. You don't require any of that. What could go wrong in this? Literally, this is Soviet. Again, where is the ownership of this? The assumption he makes, and this is the problem, because he's never had a small business. He's never had a business in his life. So he doesn't think to himself, if I just leave people alone, they'll figure out how to run their businesses. They've been doing it for millennia. For millennia, they've been figuring it out. If I just walk away, they might figure it out. No. What they need is Business Express service teams. Of course, they require that.
Teams, which pair small businesses with a city case manager that helps them.
City case manager. See that? You guys thought the SAR was fun. No, you got to have special expedited teams, and then you got to have the case manager so that they could teach you how to run your business because you're too stupid to know how to run your business, dummy. What's wrong with you? You stupid. You can't figure this out on your own. You need Mamdani to teach you how to run your business. Okay? Call your case service manager and your special expedited team guy. He'll talk to the Tsar, and then the king and the emperor will have a conversation, figure out with the 500% increased bureaucracy, and maybe instead of filling out 7 forms and 24 forms, you fill out 6 and 22, and it's fine. And if you get in trouble, we'll tax the rich people to give you money. God, don't you guys understand the plan? It makes total sense. Or you could just cut the regulation. You could. Let me explain how this works. He said barbershop, by the way. In New York State, you have to go to college to be a hairdresser or a barber. I'm not joking. You have to have a license to do that. People go, you got to have a license, Larry. People be dying. Okay. Across this country, every day across this country, moms and dads are using clippers and cutting their kids' hair. Across this country, every day, that's happening. Where are all the deaths from haircuts? There are none. That's bullshit propaganda they made up. None of it's true. You don't require a license to cut hair. It's not a thing. That is people trying to have corporate capture. That is government making money for no reason. Literally every day across this country, moms and dads are cutting their kids' hair with clippers. Where are all the deaths? You might get an infection. Where's all the infections? Where are they? Nowhere. When I was in the Marine Corps, and you guys know this, Marine Corps, you guys military, every Sunday night or so, in the barracks at the time, they don't have it now, but in the barracks, they'd have a barracks. In the common shower, there'd be at least one dude sitting there with a chair and shaving people's heads who want to get shaved, want to get haircuts, giving them hind tights and shavings. You give him $1 or $2, whatever it was, he'd shave your head. That was happening every weekend in the Marine Corps across the globe. Literally across the globe was happening. Where's all the deaths from the haircuts and the infections and them all dying? Nowhere. Not a thing. Not a thing. It's not a thing. You have to braid hair in New York State, you have to get a license. When I was a kid, kids would braid hair on a stoop. Where's all the deaths from hair braiding? Where's all the injuries? People rush to the emergency room. Oh, got a hair braiding accident. Where's that? Doesn't exist. Not a thing. What you could do is change licensing. And here is how you should change licensing. Here's how you should do it. Licensing versus credentialing. Credentialing means the state will give you a credential that the state will say you have followed whatever rules the state says you should follow, whatever that is. It's a credential. It doesn't mean that you cannot do the thing. It means you cannot post the credential publicly. And if you do post that credential publicly, that's fraud. That's a crime. You are defrauding the public. So you say, well, I don't care what the government says. I want to go cut hair. And I go to you and go, hey, I want you to cut my hair. Do you have a government credential? And you go, no. And I go, well, I care or I don't. Hey, I care. I think government standards are valuable. I'm not going to you. I'm going to go to some barber that has government standards that I care about. Or you go, I don't care. My friend said you're a good barber. Cut my hair. Up to you. You decide. Maybe not just that. Now, private institutions could also have their own credentialing. Maybe there's a Barbers Association of New York or whatever, and they have their own credentialing. And I think that their credentialing is the best. So I go to the barbers who have their credentialing because that's what I decide I care about. Done. Credentialing. Licensing, I may not do the thing with a license. But Larry, do I really want to have no licensing? I didn't say that. Here is your general rule that we should have in New York State. Would you ask your friend to do it? That's really the general rule. Would you ask your friend to walk your dog? Yeah. Why is there a license? And there is one. You have to have a license to walk dogs in New York State. I'm not joking. You need a license for that, to walk a fucking dog. Yes. So now you might say, well, Larry, I care who walks my dog. Then get a credential. You can decide. Do you want to have someone with a credential? Maybe the AKC has their own credential. Maybe New York State has their own credential, and you pick the credential that you care for your dog. You decide. Oh, you don't care. You trust this guy. You let him walk your dog. You decide. Would you ask your friend? Would you ask your friend to braid your hair? Well, not me, obviously, but if you had some hair, not like me. If you had some hair, would you ask your friend to braid it? Of course you would. Why is there a license? Would you ask your friend to go to court? No. No. Get a license. Would you ask your friend to remove your gallbladder? No. Get a license. It's fine. That should be our role. Make that change in New York State, and you will watch entrepreneurship explode. That's it. Would you ask your friend to do it? If you would, get a credential and a license. If you would not ask him to do it, get a license. Done. That small change would shift everything. Shift everything. Not just, you've heard me say it before. If you are going to have a small business in New York State and you sell only within New York State, you should be immune from all federal regulatory bodies. All. Only follow local and state guidelines and rules. That's it. Not federal. Why? That creates another layer of admin, the layer of law, another layer of HR. Get rid of that. The big boys all have to have it because they all cross states. You don't. That will help small business owners without having a SAR and a caseworker and a emergency special super duper SEAL Team 9. You don't need any of that stuff. None of it required. Adding $500 million and $20 million. It's a jobs program. It's a job. This is Soviet. Where is the ownership piece? You want to help people make money? I have another idea. How about this? If a business is going out of business, right? They're going under. They're going to sell their business, lose, whatever. They're in trouble. The state's going to take their whatever. Okay, great. You got 60 days grace period for workers to buy it. Before the vultures come in to pick it up, 60 days grace period. Can workers buy it? Well, Larry, how are the workers going to buy it? They don't have the money. Well, they might not, who knows? But let's assume they don't. For the sake of argument, they don't have the money. Okay, great. The state's going to have to pay those guys unemployment anyway for a year anyway. Give them the money up front. I'm giving you the money anyway, give it up front. Take the money up front. So every worker gets all their cash up front, number one. Number two, if you allow for community public banks, a community could create their own credit union at a county level. That credit union could be backed to do that kind of thing from the state. The NIST, the New York State Social Trust, could back it if it wants to. Or Perhaps instead you could have a public bank for the state level if you wanted to, whichever would work better. Could back that loan and maybe even match it like an FDIC locally. Imagine that. So I got state funds that I'm going to give away anyway, a community bank that wants to support the community that will match that money, and then a NIST and that will guarantee that money. The workers buy it. Now, what happens? There's some guy who goes to retire to Florida. Now the workers own it and then keep that business in their community by local people who own it because they all work there. They own it. I'm the guy talking about voluntary socialism, allowing people to actually decide to own their own business if they want to. Then if that happens, I don't care about the minimum wage. It doesn't matter to me because I'm owning the business. Life is good. Did he talk about that at all? No. Did he bring that up at all? No. He said, we're going to add this and help navigate permits and regulations, or you could get rid of them.
Navigate permits and regulations, as well as connecting them with programs that provide them with financial and legal assistance.
So now programs, or, hear me out, or your local community bank could have a connection with accountants and lawyers who are local who can help them build their business out. Could do that. Just saying.
Right now, only 3% of businesses are using these programs. We want that number to skyrocket.
Why? Why? He literally says, we want our small business to be controlled by government. He just said it. We want, again, his words. Now, I'm not making this up, guys. He just said, we want that number to skyrocket. We want all the businesses to be run through our centralized planning, SAR, and our magical expedient teams and our caseworkers and government lawyers, whatever. He wants that. Why would you want that? This is Soviet. And I keep saying that because people go, Larry, no, this is Soviet. This is literally what we know does not work. One more time. Literally, what we know does not work. That's what this is. We are aware it doesn't work. We've seen it fail before a gazillion times. And he's saying, one more time. One more time. Yes.
The only thing more New York than an egg and cheese are the small businesses that make them. Together, we can not only protect them, but encourage new ones to make a home in our city.
I mean, he's right, but not with his plan.
There's a lot of things that make New York.
That was good. I'm just saying that was good. I know some of you don't like him, but that was good. I'm just saying that was good. So yes, and of course he has a policy piece, which is 3 pages of whatever. Speed up permitting. Don't get rid of him, just speed it up. And yeah. Pennsylvania cut an 8-week process in 2 days. Well, that would be nice. I hope that, but if we can just do it, but he has a mom and pop czar. Okay. Increase funding. I mean, do we want government funding? We want governments. I thought we wanted the workers to own this, but we want the government to own this. All right. I'm done. I went through his entire platform, except for libraries. There's one thing I let go was libraries because he wants staff libraries, which I guess is fine. The only thing I didn't go over on his website was libraries. Or you know what? I don't want to say I didn't do it. Let me quickly do libraries so I can say I did everything. I'm going to quickly do libraries. It'll be 5 seconds just so I can say I did his entire thing because I will do. Okay, there it is. That he actually made it separate libraries. Libraries are critical to our city's success. They enable access to the internet, provide cool summer heat, serve as vital community hubs, and help New Yorkers seek career advancement in education. I don't know if any of that's true. I don't know if any of that's true. Everyone's on their phones now with ChatGPT, but okay. Yet Eric Adams, always attacking Eric Adams. Closures have been devastating. I support neighborhood organizing to restore funding in Astoria's Broadway Library. I remember that library. Yes. Okay. As mayor, I will end the process of using library funding as a bargaining chip in budget negotiations. I guess that's fine. Libraries are nice, I guess, but Fine, I'll give you libraries. How about that? I'm so disheartened with everything else. You know what? Take your 0.5% for libraries. You win. Can I have anything else for the library? Can I give you the libraries and you give me any one of the other things? Any one of them. You could have the libraries. Fine. I don't know who's going there anymore because everyone's on their phones. AI is going to replace libraries in 5 seconds. But okay, I guess. Okay, so now I can say it. I have done his entire thing. It was punishment, but it's done. And I will go back and I will ask you the same thing I've been asking before. Where did you see him talk about workers owning the means of production? Nowhere. Where did you see him come up with an answer that was decentralized or localized? Localism. You also find many socialists, modern socialists, say things like, hey, what we actually want is direct democracy at the local level. Howie Hawkins, a socialist, has spoken to me about this. In fact, Mike Voss and I were on the same show with him, and he talked about the idea of localism and direct democracy as a socialist utopia. I get that. Where was that? Nowhere. If you are a modern day socialist and you want the direct democracy in everything, and you want, localized control of things and worker control of the means of production, he didn't say any of that. None of it. What he's talking about is centralized planning, centralized control, the seizure of private property, taxing of the wealthy, adding of laws, multiple laws that we don't even require anymore, making illegal things illegaler, creating SARS and bureaucracy on top of bureaucracy, extra commissars throughout everything. I went through this entire thing. All of it's there. Nowhere was localized control. Nowhere was workers owning the means of production. Nowhere was direct democracy. Nowhere. Wasn't even direct democracy within business. People often want that too. If you're a modern day socialist, you say, well, we want direct democracy in the workplace. Okay, I'm not against that either. Awesome, do that if you want to. I'm okay with that. The Libertarian is like, do it. Yes, do you. Let's do it. Did he say that? No. I talk more about modern day socialism voluntarily than he does. Libertarianism is not about individualism. Libertarianism is not about selfishness. Libertarianism is about voluntarily doing things with people who want to do things with consenting adults. That's what it's about. So if you want to get together and you all want to have a worker co-op, you may. Please do so. You want to start a business and have direct democracy within your organization, please do that. Awesome. You're all deciding that you think that's the best way to run this organization. Well done. I'm in. Go do it. I will support you as much as I would support anybody else in a more traditional business. I will give the same rights, the same powers, the same everything as any other business. In fact, I'll talk about it more because I like the idea of workers owning the business. I love the idea. Don't require unions at that point, right? If every worker is an owner, why do you require unions? They're all owners. Life is good. I hope that happens. Did he mention that at all? No. I like localism, direct democracy. I think it's amazing. Go do it. Enjoy. Be the Amish. Did he mention any of that? No. In many areas of Brooklyn, the Bronx, you will find co-ops. Did he mention any of them? No. This is Soviet. This is not socialism. It's Soviet. Grab a couple of these. Mike says, a quick summary. Grow government, true. Virtue signal, true. Copy and paste failed socialism, true. Grow government, true. Can't see how Mamdani can fail or one egg might be harmed. I know. Oh my God. Aries says, libertarians are the gatekeepers to fascism. Their philosophy is the exact reason chattel slavery happened. Literally the opposite. Literally the opposite. Where did slavery, where did slavery, particularly chattel slavery, where did it expand the most? It expanded not under libertarianism in any way, shape, or form. It expanded under monarchy. All monarchies, the monarchies of the African nations, the monarchies of Europe. You're exactly wrong on that. There's zero, what you just made up. Absolutely not true. Monarchies is where that landed, right? Remember something. In authoritarian regimes, whether they're monarchies or communist authoritarian or fascist, any authoritarian, the minorities are the first attacked. They are the first crushed. The more libertarian you are, the less minorities are crushed. They're left alone. How do I know this? Look at the early America in the Northeast, where there was hardly any slavery. What groups were able to thrive? Quakers, Amish, minorities, Mormons even, right? You find that where you have a more libertarian style, you have more respect for minorities. Where did you see so many, right? When you have more of a, look again, even the American Revolution, the North was far more for revolution than the South was. The South was much more the Tories. And what do you have from the Tories? Slavery. Yes. Who wanted to support, when it came to our war, which side wanted to support the South? The Brits, who had a monarchy. So yeah, you're literally incorrect. Everything you're saying is literally incorrect. The more you find people move towards a more libertarian world, the less you attack minorities, and the less you have that. Aries says, capitalism not respect individualism. Literally the opposite. I don't know who's taught you this, Aries. Capitalism is literally about the individual. Literally about it. It's about individual property rights. In fact, I would say it's sometimes go too far. Absolutely. It's absolutely, not true at all. You are utterly incorrect. That's not correct at all. Communism does not respect the individual, right? You have to follow remember the red book, right? You have to follow what they did. Commissars, how to think, what to say. That's not true at all. I don't know where you're getting this from. If you could show me any evidence of that, I would like to see some, because I don't see any evidence. You're like, I'm going to go yell stuff at Larry, which I don't mind. I'm happy that you yell at me and stuff. Please, I eat this up. But none of that's true. You just made that up. The more libertarian you are, the less you will have things like slavery, the less you will attack minorities, the less you'll do it. Don't be wrong. People are still people, and they will still attack minorities. It's not like libertarianism is perfect. It's not at all. But you definitely see it that way. The more libertarian you are, the more minorities are respected. Or shouldn't they respected? Left alone. So maybe that's respected if you look at it that way, left alone. If you look at all the totalitarian regimes, currently the Chinese, they're attacking the Uyghurs, right? You look at Russians attacking their minorities. You look at the Germans during when they fascist, attacking their minorities. The Italians attacking their minorities. Spanish attacking their minorities. Everywhere you go, the more authoritarian, whether that's left authoritarian, right authoritarian, doesn't matter. The more authoritarian, the more they attack minorities. If you look at even America, where did more of the minorities thrive? It was in the North, where there was less authoritarianism. There was still authoritarianism, but less of it. So there was more of a thriving than it was in other areas. In fact, if you go out to the Wild West, so the Mormons went. The Mormons went to the Wild West. It was more libertarian compared to others. Again, it wasn't libertarian, but it was more libertarian. They were able to survive and thrive. And you see them thrive now in that area with Utah and Idaho, right? That area there, they thrive there. So I don't know. I think you were incorrect, Aries. I respect you coming on and saying what you feel. But yeah, and then to say, well, the gatekeepers are fascists, I don't know what that even means. I don't know what that means. We don't gatekeep that at all. Generally speaking, when it comes to fascism, it is authoritarians that do it. The right will often immediately march to fascism. The left will slowly march to it through socialism. But they both go to the same spot, right? Both extremes, the left and the right, go to the same spot. The right tends to go faster to that spot. The left pretends like it's not going there, but goes there anyway. Again, left's rhetoric is way better. The left's rhetoric is almost always better than the right's rhetoric. It sounds good, feels much better. So it tends to get there, but roundabout, the right goes there straighter. But they both go there in any extreme. I think that's true. So anyway, thanks for popping out. I appreciate it. I'm grabbing some more of these comments if I can. Phil says, libraries are patronage mills in the age of the internet. True. It's true. I think that is true. Yes. All right. I think we covered that piece. Ivan the Terrible is going to take care of mom and pop. Yes, indeed. Yes. Lunatic says that MF, an MF that talks with his mouth full is a, yes. Well, yeah, but he's trying to be cool. Look, he is trying to be cool. Like, yeah, see, I eat this stuff. I'm cool. He's trying to be cool. So I get it, right? I get what he's saying. So yeah, it's true. All righty. Philo Abstract says it's so overblown. The virtual signaling is an all-time new level. It is. It's just virtual signaling. He's not solving anything. It's just virtual signaling. That's the issue. So yes, guys, I want to ask you if I can. I know I've asked you many times. Please do it. Click the like button. If you like what I'm saying, you've seen me go through the entire thing. No one else has done this. Has anyone else done this? No one else has. It's just me. I walked through in these past 4 sessions all of his policies, every one of them. Gone through them all, trying to show you how mine work better and how his won't work. I've tried to be funny if I can, interesting when I can, give you examples when I can, and show you how I know how the system works. If you like it, please click the button known as like. Share and repost as I keep asking you. If you haven't already subscribed, do so. I've had to cut this in half, guys, because I'm running for office. I have a Sharpe way, which is separate than a Larry Sharpe, which means everything I'm doing is now cut in half. You are watching. It's tough for me to get people to watch now. So I need your help. Please help me with this if you can. And not just that, this is a fundraiser. If you can, head on over to LarrySharpe.com/donate. Throw me a couple bucks if you can. Remember, if you are a New York State resident, particularly, if you give between $5 and $250, if you can do that, it will be matched 6-1 New York State once I hit a certain threshold. So if you're in New York State, please give either $5, $250, or any number in between. All good. Any of those are fine. Any number between those two, including those two, is good. Please do that so it can be matched. It helps tremendously. If you don't live in New York State, please give what you can. Here's what I'm going to ask you. You love me so much that you are ready to give me a cup of coffee every day. If you go, yes, Larry, I love you so much, I give you a cup of coffee every day. That's $100 a month. If you can do that, if you're in that spot, you love me that much, please do so. If you say, Larry, I don't love you that much. Okay. Can you do a cup of coffee a month? Is that okay? Can you swing that? It's $5 a month. Do that. Head on over to LarrySharpe.com. $5 every month. Give it to me for 1 year. I'm asking for a year. Why? Because I'm giving you a year. I'm doing this for a year. You help me out and you commit for a year. Larry, I could do more than a cup of coffee a month. You give me a cup of coffee a week. If you can, that's $25 a month. Heading over there, give me $25 a month for 1 year. $25 a month for 1 year. Do that. It's a cup of coffee every week to get me up and running so I can make matching funds and keep this going. If you can do so, please do so. If you've already done so, no worries. You can get a gift if you want to. Head over, get a hoodie, get a bumper sticker, whatever the case may be. Grab any of those if you want to, right? Whichever one you think is appropriate, whichever one you like. You like the weed shirt, that's good. You like the Second Amendment shirt, like the regular standardized shirt, they're all good. Pick the one that you think is going to work for you. I appreciate that. That's over at LarrySharpe.com/shop. And of course, if you've done all that already, you can always just volunteer. I need volunteers. I need people to jump on SEAL Team Sharpe. Jump on SEAL Team Sharpe if you would. LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. And I will show you some if you don't mind. I will show you. Hold on if I can do it right now. This one is the hoodie. The hoodie's right here if you want the hoodie. There we go. That's Larry Sharpe for Governor Hoodie. If you want that one, pick that up if you like. Hoodie is cool. I've seen people wear it. But I ask you the same thing as always. If you decide to get the hoodie, please wear it. It does matter. Every little one does matter if you can do that. And if you don't want the hoodie, no worries. It's the shirts, hats, whatever you want. Please jump on board. Every little bit does count. We're trying to move forward in this. And again, we're going to be reporting in January. That report needs to be a good report. That report needs to be a good report. That shows people that we're serious and that we're rocking and rolling. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your evening. I do appreciate that. If you can, that you gave me that time, I do appreciate it. I will be back on tomorrow on the Sharpe Way, and I'll be back on Wednesday at the Gov Shack. I'll see you all. Oh, sorry. Now, before I say that, sorry, you'll get mad if I don't do it. D will get mad if I don't do that. So please, before we go, remember, comment after the live if you would. And I'm going to ask you here. You've seen hopefully all 4 of those. What do you think overall of Mamdani's policies? Are they good, bad, middle, kinda, what you expected? Overall, what do you think about Mamdani's policies? Remember, this is not live. You can see two videos pop up. Please click on one of them right away. It does matter. I'll see you all.